Hi everyone, my name is Mark Sampson.
And I'm Emer.
And we are third year student and masters here in Shannon College of Hotel Management. And today we're here with Daisy Kelliher, a graduate of the college in 2011. Hi Daisy, how are you?
Hi, good, thank you.
That's good. I hear you're over in Spain at the moment.
Yes, I'm in Valencia working at the moment, so I'm pretty happy here. I left London just when the weather started to turn, and I was like, yep, no, it's a little bit cold for me, so
following the sun.
Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic. That's so nice. It's great after the pandemic to be able to travel and everything again, isn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely. I was pretty lucky actually for the last couple of years. I've been able to travel pretty freely because yachties or seafarers were considered essential workers. So in that respect, it hasn't really affected me with traveling, which I've been very grateful for. But it's still pretty stressful though. I'm like, because I don't have a QR code. I have like a written vaccine. So I'm always like in sweats getting on the plane. I'm like, is someone going to question me over this? So yeah, it's still pretty stressful, but yeah, it's much nicer to be able to travel.
Hopefully we'll come out the other side of this anyway.
It looks like hopefully for sure.
I know. It's great for us to get back to college as well.
I bet.
Back into some sort of routine again.
So nice.
Yeah, I mean, I feel sorry for the college.
I know.
Yeah. Look, we're all back now. They're very happy to have us back. They're delighted.
It's great to be on campus again because we just came off placement ourselves anyway. So it's great to get back into the routine of everything again, you know. So yeah, but just a couple questions here. So tell us, why did you choose Shannon College initially? Like, how did it come about?
I can't remember exactly why I chose Shannon. I mean, it's so long ago now, but I definitely chose hotel management because my dad actually wanted me to get into yachting, and I was like, no. I want to go to university. I just don't know what the hell I was thinking, but I was like, no, I want to go to university and I want to study. And he was like, okay, well, if you're not going to go into yachting, how about hotel management? I always knew I wanted to travel. And I had a couple of aunties and uncles who'd studied hotel management at Cahill Burrell Street. So I decided I wanted to do hotel management. And I'm can't entirely remember how Shannon came about, but I think I basically looked into it, and Galway came up, DIT and Shannon, and it was obvious that Shannon was the best university
naturally
for studying. So that was well, it was my number one choice, and I honestly don't think any other reason except that it had the best reputation. And I didn't know anyone who went to Shannon, or I didn't know much about the reputation or the experience there, except that it was, the best college to study. And it's like, well, if you're going to do something, you might as well do it properly. So it was my number one choice. I think DIT was my number two, or Galway. And then, so the top three choices were hotel management, and Shannon was number one. So.
Fantastic. And I suppose for traveling as well, it's just fantastic. The course, for placements and everything that we supply here in the college, would be great. Where did you go on your second year placement?
My second year placement was in Brussels. Yeah. So
great. So you studied French?
Yes. I didn't speak much French though, unfortunately. I worked in a hotel beside the European Commission, so all of our guests were European, so English was a lot handier than French. I gave it a good go.
Fantastic. That's great. And were you in London? You were in London for final year placement, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Brilliant. And what hotel were you in?
I actually ended up working in a place called the Grand Connaught Rooms, which is part of the Principal Haley Group. And that was a banqueting and event center, so we didn't have rooms. So I was a floor manager there for events.
Fab. And do you feel like those experiences, in second and final year placement kind of helped you towards kind of your future of working in yachts and stuff like that, having that experience?
I don't know necessarily. It's hard to say necessarily the work wise, because it's all I had, so I don't know how my experience would have differed if I didn't have it, but definitely in the sense of not being so tied to home, being able to travel, kind of being able to fly anywhere and fit right in, and at such a young age moving to Brussels and kind of finding your own apartment, and you know, being in the workforce in a different language and being given these responsibilities, it definitely kind of makes you grow up quite quickly. And, you know, I think that in that sense, it definitely helped me. And,
Yeah, absolutely.
I went down to Antibes and was like, right, you know, I'm going to get a job, and it's quite a daunting experience. So I think in that sense, the placement years definitely helped me, you know, grow thick skin, and yeah, nothing really kind of fazed me or daunted me, which is, you know, essential in anything, but especially in yachting.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, hospitality is universal, you know, which is great.
Yeah,
with the training, so you literally go in and just fish right in wherever you go,
sure.
which is great, you know. Absolutely. I so like, what kind of so going through like your placements now, like your I suppose your time here in Shannon. So like what advice now would you give to, I suppose, prospective students looking at going to Shannon College who would love to come here? Like what advice would you give them, just being on the other side of things?
I mean, advice, I mean, it's hard to say. You know, you just kind of go for it and you know, immerse in the experience. And, you know, maybe looking back, I wish I immersed more in the experience. And, you know, it's easy to look back on something and be like, wow, that was actually such an incredible experience. And I wish, you know, I like everything, you know, you don't take it for granted. And, you know, maybe I wished, I kind of realized how lucky I was to be there. But I think you can say that for any experience, and I'm sure our mums and dads have told us that many of times. But yeah, you know, anyone who's interested in going for Shannon, you know, go for it. It's, you know, just, you know, don't be scared. It's daunting because it's a bit of a different experience with the uniform, and you know, absolutely. It seems a bit strict, and it seems a bit, you know, almost military, or like, why would you want to go there? Like, that looks like no fun at all. But yeah,
it is.
Yeah,
Is there any particular memory of Shannon that kind of stood out to you the most?
You know, I think it sounds cliche, but I think, you know, the whole like Shannon family, it's you know, it's an experience that no other university gets to have. And that you know, when I went to yachting, actually, I ended up staying in Cannes with the two third year girls, and I'd never met them before. I emailed them and said, I think maybe some of my friends had met them, and I emailed them saying, you know, do you mind if I crash on your couch for a few days, because it's so expensive, and you know, I was only young and didn't have much money, and I didn't know anyone in Antibes, and they were like, yeah, sure. And I ended up living, you know, I don't know if any of you went to Cannes, but where they lived was like literally a shoebox. So I ended up living on their floor for 5 weeks, and you know, we were great friends, and yeah, we had just the best summer. And you know, that you don't get that anywhere else. You can't just email anyone in university being like, hey, I've never met you before, but do you mind if I you know, sleep in your couch? You're poor, I'm poor. And I think that's, you know, a big testament to Shannon and the whole kind of Shannon family. So that
it just shows, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, it's amazing that you can kind of go anywhere in the world. And, you know, most of my best friends are still from Shannon, which again, I don't think most people can say that about their university friends. You know, maybe they'll come out with one or two, but I think there's a big group of us, about 10 of us, that we're still very close. So
yeah, and I suppose like myself and Mark, like we always used to watch Below Deck, and then when we heard there was a Shannon student on it, it was mad. Like we nearly felt proud. We're like, oh my god, there's one of us on us. And it became a lot more realistic as well, you know. That it's something like, you know, we could do as well. And
it opens. It's like branching off hotel management as well, which is great. It's great, just another aspect, really, isn't it?
No, absolutely. And you know, for yachting, if you ever are interested, you know, look in the Facebook groups, and you'll see straight away, if you're green, you know, they'll always ask for hospitality experience as a, you know, at least a minimum, because at least then, you know what it means to make a bed, you know what it means to make a cocktail. And those basic things are skills that a lot of people just don't have time to teach. And, you know, they are skills that we don't inherently know. And we think, you know, you think it's normal, especially for as long as I've been doing it, you're like, you know, how do you not know how to make a bed? And I forget, you know, 15 years ago, I didn't know how to make a bed. I didn't know, you know, what a Bloody Mary was or whatever it is. And those kind of little details, which, you know, are so important in yachting. You know, you learn them in Shannon, but in hotels you do forget, because money's, you know, are essentially a lot more important. You try to keep a standard up. And
with your clientele as well, I mean, those standards are expected.
Oh, massively. And you know, money isn't an issue. This isn't this is a money loss industry, not a money gaining. So it's whatever it costs to take to make it perfect. That's your goal. And you know, and especially as a stewardess, everything has to look absolutely perfect, and there's no room for error. So you know, those skills are they all came from Shannon, and they're just skills that people in the yachting industry don't have time to learn. So you'll always see, you know, hospitality service required as a minimum. So
fantastic. And like, I suppose with the experience that you got from Shannon and everything, and then branching into yachting, what do you like? Why yachting? What appeals to it most?
Everything. What does appeal to it? I mean, you know, for me, hotels was amazing, and you know, my friends have had you know, incredible careers in them, but for me, it was you know, it was a frustrating experience because I loved them, but I think working in events was frustrating because we were trying to give a level of service that just financially wasn't possible. So you were kind of in this constant battle of going, you know, the service wasn't good enough, and you're like, okay, well, I need more staff. No, you can't have more staff. And you're like, you know, I felt like I was going around in circles, and you know, I was kind of like, there has to be, you know, something else. And of course my dad's like, yachting. And I'm like, okay, I'll look into it. And yeah, it's just, so for me, it's an incredible relief to be able to give these services without having to fight for money. And it's just not an issue. And then, you know, that's one aspect to it. And then the other aspect is, you know, for me, the traveling and the lifestyle, it's, you know, it's a whole other ball game, but you still kind of get the essence of the hospitality there. Like, I love to work with people. That was a big, you know, draw to hotel management. I do love people. And yachting for me is kind of the best of all of those.
Worlds,
you know, it's not for everyone, but for me, it worked out well. And yeah, hotel management is essential, and it's kind of all one big package.
Yeah. And is this, like, would you say, like, from your experience in yachting, is this something you would recommend to kind of future graduates of, you know, because I think yachting isn't really known that much, I suppose. I wasn't, to me anyway. And I suppose, like, Below Deck was probably the first time I ever considered, oh, maybe this is something, you know, I could potentially do after Shannon. Is it something you'd recommend to future graduates?
Yeah, no, definitely. You know, anyone who ever has an interest, I say, you know, go for it. You know, it's amazing because, like anything, if it's not for you, you can leave. You know, nothing's forever. And if you have an interest, you know, go give it a go. And it's not for everyone, but I definitely think if you know, it's for a very particular kind of person. It isn't for everybody. It's a very transient life. It's very fast paced. You know, things get left behind, like your friends and your family, you know, and like everything, you kind of have to weigh up what's important to you. And if you like this industry, and if you know, you're into traveling, you're into this kind of lifestyle, you're into, you're able to fit the mindset of a yachty, for sure. I mean, you can earn incredible money, see incredible destinations, and meet amazing people. So
I suppose it is like the hospitality industry, you know, it's so, like, it looks so glamorous, and like everyone has the beautiful uniforms and the flowers in the bedrooms, but it's hard work. And the same with yachting. I mean, I could only imagine the working hours, and you know how hard
you don't leave it. You know, you don't leave work at 5 o'clock in the evening or whatever.
You don't clock out.
No, definitely. It's you know, it's like all those memes you see on Facebook. What my friends think I do, what my parents think I do, and what I really do, and I'm like stuck in a toilet cleaning it. No, it's definitely not. You know, I always tell people I'm an overpaid toilet cleaner. I'm like, you know, it's pretty much what it is. And I explain to people as well when people ask what my job is, and I say I essentially run a hotel. I go from, you know, serving breakfast to making up cabins to serving lunch to doing turn downs, you know, to serving dinner. We run the whole hotel, everything. Yeah. And the hours, I mean, I've probably gone maybe 3 months at times without a day off. The hours, you know, working 16 hours a day, easy, like that's not even a question.
But you love what you do.
Absolutely. You know, for me, my best is when we have guests on board, and you know, even on Below Deck, I've never worked as hard as I have on that show. it's insane, like what you put it through, and the first few nights you don't sleep because the throbbing in your legs is so bad that it's so painful that I mean it takes me maybe 2 or 3 hours to get to sleep, which is pretty long considering I only have 5 hours. I'm like, go to sleep, and my legs are, you know, I have to put them in all sorts of positions. I have like 4 pillows underneath them to elevate them, and
it's not like you have much space either to
no, it's definitely, it's hard work, and exactly, space is a big thing. You give up, you know, all your personal space, and I've, you know, shared a cabin for the last 10 years, and I've sometimes struggled to sleep on my own because, you know, I'm used to always having someone there. So yeah, it's definitely not easy, and the rewards are great, but you know, you don't get a reward without working hard. So
but that's life, you know. I mean, you don't get, you know, great things in life unless you work for them.
And the harder you work, the bigger the reward, and that's kind of yachting. It's the pros and cons are and that's why it's not for everyone. You know, other people like to live a more maybe simple life, which is absolutely fine, but the rewards in yachting are definitely financially and lifestyle are pretty big. But you definitely
that's the like about hospitality, you either love it or you hate it. There's no between.
Sure. No.
And if you love it, you love it. It's just a fabulous industry to be in, you know.
Definitely.
And then working on yachting, sorry to focus so much on the yachting, but like, was there further education you had to do after Shannon to actually work in yachts then, or for people who are interested?
There are 2 basic qualifications that are essential. No boat will hire you without them because it's a legal requirement. So there's the STCW, which is it's just a safety. It's, you know, firefighting, first aid, kind of, I think, like if you if the boat sinks and you need to get into a life raft, I can't remember what it's called.
Sting life.
Yeah, exactly. It's a week-long course. You basically can't fail. It's, you know, there to just teach you. I really think you'd have to be quite incredible to fail it. And then an ENG1, which is a medical cert, just to say you're fit to be at sea, because obviously that's important because there's times when you're at sea for 2 to 3 weeks. So you can't have somebody who's physically unfit, because we are the ones who will be putting out the fire if that happens, or we are the ones who will be pulling somebody in if there's a man overboard. But again, it's, you know, pretty much anyone can pass it unless you have a severe health problem, or you're severely, you know, unfit or overweight or whatever it is. But I mean, it's quite an extreme case. So those 2 are the only things. Other people choose to, you know, get extra qualifications, whether it be training, you know, in wine, things like that. I don't usually recommend them, and I definitely wouldn't recommend them for anyone who's gone to Shannon. You're learning everything you learn in Shannon, between the wine or, you know, silver service. These are all extra courses that people can choose to take on that kind of help advantage their CVs.
Yeah, we're lucky that we learn all that in Shannon.
Yeah. So definitely for anyone in Shannon who it does have an interest, don't waste your money, but you do need the STCW and the ENG1, and then your degree, and
off you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Sail away.
It just shows though that like going to Shannon and going from into the hospitality training in Shannon can just give you so many opportunities.
Yeah, no, definitely. These are they're definitely skills and kind of things you learn that you really, I'm sure everyone at the time thinks, why do I need to learn this? But you know, even if you don't use it, the thing about, you know, a CV is it's, you know, I always tell people education's great because, you know, you walk away. I don't remember half the stuff I learned in Shannon. It was, again, 15 years ago. But what's great is showing that you took the initiative to learn them, that you took an interest. And that's what people want to see. And that's what I look for in a CV when I'm hiring a stewardess. I mightn't necessarily need cocktail knowledge. You know, on the boat I'm working on now, they drink margaritas and that's it. But I like to see that somebody, you know, took the time to go learn something, that they took an interest in it. Yeah, exactly. And and that's the thing about education that's important. Whether you use it or you don't, that's not what's important. What's important is that you were committed to something and you followed through with it, and shows your discipline. And Shannon gives you that.
Because you really just don't know what's ahead of you in life or in your career, you know. I mean, 15 years ago, did you think you'd be on Netflix?
No, definitely not. Exactly. I mean, a year ago, I didn't think that was going to be it. That was all thanks to COVID. So thanks COVID.
and like just being on like this opportunity, you know, below deck and like this tribe that we've all watched and we're all going, oh my god, just Shannon. But like how has it influenced your career? Like how has it changed like the way it was?
So it does hinder your career in a sense. I've definitely lost work because of it, because we work for such high profile people. A lot of, you know, these boats are used as tax havens, you know, to avoid taxes, things like this. There's all that, you know, they're very discreet people. They're usually famous or well known. So I definitely have lost work because of it. But in the other sense, you know, I feel like your life changes kind of every 10 years, and it's coming up to 10 years now that I've been in yachting. And this has kind of opened me up to other industries like, you know, like the Instagram world and the influencer world. And, you know, I do a lot of podcasts now. I do a lot of, you know, radio interviews. And at the beginning, you know, last year when I started, I was so bad at them. And now I've done so many and I'm getting better and better. And I'm like, this is really cool. I'm learning a whole nother industry. And I'm really enjoying that, because I'm kind of starting to see, you know, another career, which is pretty cool, because, you know, at 34, I'm like getting to almost start a whole nother career. Which, you know, is very scary, and lots of people do it, but
exciting.
Yeah, it's very cool. And I'm not having to start at the bottom. I'm kind of getting, you know, I always look at influencers and I'm like, fair play to them, how they grow from 0 to, you know, 300,000 followers. It's really hard work, and it really takes up a lot of your time. But I was obviously given this platform that, you know, let me grow instantly overnight, because there was no way I was going to put the time and effort into doing that myself. So that's, it's pretty cool. And it's exciting, you know, what life can bring you. And I definitely think we all have these changes in life. So I guess I'm kind of entering I've gone hotels, yachting into, I don't know what my next career is, but it's
who knows?
really shaping. So we'll see what happens.
And it all stemmed from Shannon.
Yeah. And will we potentially see you on Below Deck ever again? It's the verdict out in that one.
I can tell you afterwards when we stopped recording.
We'll have to plan a bit of an industry trip, I think. Absolutely. But come here, Daisy, thank you so much.
No, you're welcome. No, it's lovely to talk to you both. And anyone who is an interest, for sure, you know, you're welcome to message me or email me. I'm happy to, you know, give out any advice or point you in the right direction. I love the industry, and I'm always happy to hear people are interested in it. So
I don't think it'll be the last time you'll hear from us anyway. So
and I'm glad you still want to talk to me after I did the show. That was my biggest fear. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna embarrass everyone. They're not gonna want to know me. But the show was fun, so it worked out well.